The financially troubled Northwest Transport Investments Business Rescue Practitioner Thomas Sammons appeared before the Portfolio Transport Committee Management today to explain his role on the dire state of the entity. The entity, which is fully owned by the provincial government, has been unable to pay salaries for years, with some employees reportedly taking their own lives as a result. Newzroom Afrika's Refiloe Seboko joins us now live. Very good evening to you, Refiloe. If you could just let us know about what transpired and what came out of today's Portfolio Committee meeting.
Good evening, Masa, together with our viewers. It's really been a long day. That sitting and the engagement with Mr. Sammons started at around 9 o'clock. In fact, he has left, in fact, the legislature, but now service providers as well that have been called here to also, talk to their roles, but also what their roles has been into this entity, how they even benefited into this entity. But we also left with the question of, you'll understand that one of those that was also expected to appear today was the ANC member together with the businessman, Suleiman Karim, who previously was summoned and did not appear. Just before we get to what Mr. Thompson said today, I want us, Freddie, to speak to, service providers that were called in to come and also account today, one of them being Suleiman Karim, the businessman ANC member, but we see that he is not even here. Talk to us about what you are getting, the feedback with regards to him, not once again, responding to that invitation.
So, Refiloe, it has been a very eventful day today. We actually summoned 3 service providers. It was Triponza, Transnet, and Ziggy. Ziggy is the one that belongs to Mr. Suleiman Karim. In the morning, we received a report from the protection officer who indicated that he tried to serve the summons on Mr. Suleiman, but he was told that Mr. Suleiman is out of the country. But while we were still busy engaging with the protection officer, he was called outside by a person who said that he was sent by Mr. Suleiman. Upon going to that gentleman, he came back now with a medical certificate that says that Mr. Suleiman is unable to appear before the committee and that he'll resume duties or be back to work on the 22nd of January. So that's what we are sitting with and what we've just resolved on now.
What you also raised as a concern as you are trying to resolve that is the issue of Mr. Suleiman being out of the country. Where was he? But also the medical certificate indicating that he is or consulted around Mahikeng.
Yeah, we have chosen not to preempt what will happen, but the ruling has been that we are going to be getting a full report written from the protection service telling us what actually transpired, breaking down in chronology to say this is what happened on this day, today this is what happened, because we are also as a committee trying to establish whether will there be a charge against Mr. Suleiman of contempt or lying to Parliament, or if there's been anything that has been committed that is untoward, because there was a story about him being in Saudi Arabia that the protection of service has to clarify, and then today now we just got a medical certificate that says he was at the doctor yesterday and is unfortunately unable to come. So we then decided that we are going to call him sometime next week. We are to agree on a date. We are waiting just the legislature to give us a date, and then he will come first before we can even engage him on what we need him for the purpose of this committee work. We'll first start with that one way is to clarify, and we'll look at what the report from the protection service is saying, and then we'll make a resolution around that.
Let's get to the appearance by Mr. Thomas. You've also, what is it that you took out? But what is of concern is the amount of money that, as the business rescue practitioner was paid over the years, but the entity has not been able to be rescued. Talk to us about that money.
What came out strong, Refiloe, was that Mr. Sammons, you'd remember, we tried to get him numerous times to appear before the committee. There's been no cooperation, but then we ended up issuing summons. Then today he finally came. Refiloe, the bottom line, or what came out very strong, was that we asked him, Mr. Sammons, since 2022 up until to date, workers have not been paid for 10 months. There's been no signs of this entity being better. Can you say that there's been value for you being there. He said no, he agrees that there's not been value because there's been a number of issues that he mentioned. But in that engagement, I then, as the chairperson, asked him that, how much are you getting as a BRP? Then he said it's close to 800,000 per month based on calculations that they need to do. Sometimes it differs. I then did a quick calculation in the meeting, and I said, in the 3 years that you've been there, Mr. Sammons, it says that you've taken 28.8 million. Are you saying that there's been value to you there? And why are you holding on to the company? Because there's been appeals after appeals. He's been losing the case of, the government has taken him to court, removing him. He lost it, he appealed. He's still even there. So we say, why are you holding on while you are not winning? Is it even on your professional stature? What is this saying, you know? And then he became a bit emotional, I'm sure you realized at that point, to say he believes that he was done dirty, he was not allowed to do his work, but he was not coming forth to say, who did him dirty? What is it that was supposed to be happening? And we ended up having to say that we'll have to write to him to get more documents for him, because government has been clear to say they are not in charge of the account of that entity, because when he got there, he opened a separate account. And we then said, because he's the one who's in charge of the account, it then struck us as a committee that when we started engaging him, it appeared as if he didn't realize when he took the job that this is a job that is different from a private company where I can just use a Companies Act and it ends there. Here, it's a government entity. You have to also subscribe everything that you do to the PFMA. But it became clear that he does not really understand the PFMA. And when we requested documents such as supply chain documents, when he issued out tenders and all that, he said it was in the package. When we went through the package, it was not there. He apologized and said he'll bring it later. So we are definitely going to wait and get the documents so that we can finish off this inquiry that we've been doing.
At the receiving end, Freddie, is the workers who have not been paid, the families of those who sadly took their own lives as a result of the situation of the entity. But also we're hearing the issue around ghost workers, which he cited as one of the reasons why this entity is so financially challenged. What's the way forward?
When you look at the back and forth that has been happening in Refiloe, for one, I would have long let this matter go. But solely because of the workers who have not been paid. Getting a call from a mother in January saying, I'm sitting here, I don't know what I'm going to do. I go to work every day, but my kids don't see the value of me going to work. It's what has pushed the committee to push up until this far. We pushed even there to say, what then becomes the way forward? That is what we are not getting. And we are trying to push so that the committee can close its work and do a report, because in that report, at least we'll be able to make house resolutions that compel that at least payments of this nature be made. And one of the reasons that we call these service providers today is because they are signatories to a entity's account that's supposed to pay them. So it means these 3 service providers that are in this committee room today are able to know how much is in the account. They are able to sign monies off, which for us does not make sense because it's conflict of interest, and I'm not sure of any law that would permit such an arrangement. So we are trying to get as to what do we call this arrangement, who allowed it to go on, and we are told that no, Mr. Sammons says Gauteng allowed that. And if they are aware of this account, we want them to come forth and say how much is in that account. And if there's money, why are workers not being paid? And if we can get how much is in there, at least we'll be able to can make the resolutions.
Freddie Sonakile, thank you so much for your time. We'll leave it there for now, Masa. Millions of money that has been spent or even paid to the BRP in trying to rescue the entity. At the core of it, or the receiving end, is some workers that have not been paid at this moment. And the questions remains, this has not been value for money, considering that the entity has not been rescued so far.
Refiloe Seboko, thank you so much for that report.